harm upon ours.
Absolutely. So with that, I'd like to thank you for taking out time and sharing your perspective on this very crucial development. With that, viewers, we're shifting focus to more news coming in. We're now learning that an internationally coordinated operation targeting alleged online fraud and money laundering networks, including a German payment service provider, has led to 18 arrests. Germany's Federal Criminal Police and prosecutors have stated that between 2016 and 2021, alleged criminals used credit card details of 4.3 million individuals across 193 countries in their scheme, causing damages amounting to more than 300 million euros. Now, the suspects had siphoned off funds through subscriptions to fake websites designed for streaming, dating and entertainment. The defendants compromised 4 major German payment service providers to process payments, but the firms have not, of course, been named in the report. German authorities disclosed that they had searched buildings in Germany, Italy, Canada, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Singapore, Spain, the United States and Cyprus as well. Prosecutors stated that they are targeting 44 suspects in Germany and other countries, including members of the fraud network, payment firm employees and crime as a service providers. With us on the broadcast is Professor Rohan Gunaratne, International Affairs expert, joining us from Singapore. Thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to us on NewsX World. This is a transnational crime of such a magnitude that has come to light. 4.3 million individuals have been defrauded between 2016 and 2021. Money amounting to 300 million euros has been siphoned off by these criminals. What's really needed to crack down on these networks that use the cyberspace, misuse it in order to exact money for their own benefit? Because these sort of attacks don't only take place in Europe, they also take place in countries in Asia, whether it is India or China for that matter, in the United States as well. This is a global problem. So what's really needed? What sort of robust framework is needed to counter such malicious actions?
Pia, what we have seen is a transnational criminal network. And to defeat such a network, what we need is a multi-agency, multinational and a multi-jurisdictional response. And that is what the Germans have done. So we all have to congratulate the Germans for spearheading this effort. It's a 5-year investigation involving a dozen countries, and they coordinated their actions to raid simultaneously the infrastructure of this criminal network, largely located in Western countries. Second is that the German criminal police have worked with the prosecutors. So I believe that this model of fighting crime is a very good model for other countries to emulate. That is, Germany working together with partners, striking simultaneously, dismantling a criminal network. Of course, there are hundreds of such networks, but what the Germans have done is commendable. Digital crime is a rising threat. There is physical crime, but today there is more digital crime than physical crime, and there should be capabilities built across the world where there is cooperation, collaboration, and partnership.
Indeed, sir. You know, as you mentioned, the digital arena, it's practically a double-edged sword. It's also used for crimes such as this, but it can also be used to catch the perpetrators. I want to understand from you, how can advancements in the cybersphere, whether it's artificial intelligence or machine learning, then be incorporated by the police and other agencies in the near future in order to crack down on these criminals, basically turn their own game against them?
Most of the law enforcement authorities are trained to fight physical crime. We have to invest more and raise a new generation of young analysts, operators, specialists, and experts to work in the digital space. most governments are challenged with education, with training, with equipment and other capabilities. So what is important for the leadership is to invest in building very smart young people who are able to outsmart these criminal organizations. And you can see that in this case, it is mostly online fraud and scams, and people who have saved their funds for entire life, they have been frauded and cheated. And surprisingly, a lot of these networks, criminal networks, are now in the Western countries. And that is why it is so important for the West to build capabilities and partnerships across the world, because the Western authorities have the best capabilities compared to countries in Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. So we all work together to defeat this threat.
Absolutely, sir. With that, I'd like to thank you for taking out time, of course, sir, sharing your insights into what can be done in order to tackle such transnational criminal incidents. Shifting focus to more news coming in, we're now learning that Belgian Prime Minister has convened an urgent security meeting after suspected drone sightings had taken place near airports and military sites. Brussels Airport is expected to resume normal operations after flight suspensions had taken place overnight. Around 80 flights were halted, leaving between 400 and 500 passengers stranded at Zaventem Airport. Flights will gradually restart throughout the day. Belgium's air traffic control agency, Skies, had stopped flights twice on Tuesday night after reports of drones near Brussels, Zaventem and Liège airports. Operations at Charleroi Airport were also temporarily suspended as a precaution. The drone incidents follow a series of unexplained sightings near airports and military sites across Europe, including in Germany and Denmark. Over the weekend, drones were also reported near Belgium's Kleinbrogel Air Base, believed to house US nuclear weapons. Authorities are investigating and believe that the activity could be coordinated, designed to sow panic and disturb the country's stability. News coming in from Bosnia, we are now learning that a massive fire has ripped through a nursing home in the town of Tuzla in northern Bosnia, leaving 11 people dead and several others injured. Now, according to reports, the blaze broke out around 9 p.m. local time and was extinguished within an hour. Firefighters faced immense challenges rescuing immobile and elderly residents trapped inside. Officials say that several survivors were treated for carbon monoxide poisoning at the Tuzla University Clinical Center. Drones and ground footage show extensive damage to the buildings. Authorities, meanwhile, are investigating the cause of the fire as the community mourns this devastating tragedy. Listen in to what the deputy commander of the firefighters and what a resident had to say.
Ovako, dojava je krenula od 20:45, dobili smo informaciju da gori objekat, dom penzionera kojim su smještena starija iznemogla lica. Na lice mjesta su krenule prve dvije ekipe, vidjeli su da je požar se nalazi na posljednjem spratu. Započeli su spašavanje, gašenje, ubrzo su pristigle i ostale ekipe naše. Znači, ukupno na požaru je bilo 6 naših vatrogasnih vozila, ubrzo se priključila i dobrovoljno društvo Tuzla. Situacija je bila jako teška, jer ovo su jako, što kažu, kritični i teški požari gdje se radi o nepokretnim i slabo pokretnim licima, kao i to da se vrši paralelno i evakuacija i spašavanje.
Ne znam koliko je bilo vatrogasaca, koliko je bilo policije, samo sam vidio ogroman plamen, dim, stare te bespomoćne, bili su na polju, vani, nemam riječi, stvarno nemam riječi.
With that, viewers, it's a wrap